everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's lesson is going to be on mammary gland and lactation, which is a very important topic under pregnancy. So in this video lecture I will be discussing you about what is mammary gland and its development and the role of hormones in mammary glands, and also what is lactation and the process of lactation and the role of hormones in lactation and the effects of lactation on menstrual cycle. So watch the video till then to get each and every detailed information regarding this topic. Okay, good luck. So let's move on to our discussion, that is mammary glands and lactations, and beginning with the development of mammary gland first. At the time of birth, mammary gland is rudimentary and consist of only a tiny nipple and few radiating ducts from it. But at the childhood and to till puberty, there is no difference in the structure of mammary gland between male and female body. But at the time of puberty and afterwards, there is a vast change in the structure of female mammary gland due to the hormonal influence. The beginning of changes in the mammary gland is called thelarche, and it occurs at the time of puberty and just before the menarche, which is the initiation of the menstrual cycle. At puberty, there is growth of duct system and formation of glandular tissue and others. During every sexual cycle, at the time of menstruation, there is a slight regression, and in between the phases of menstruation, proliferative changes can also occur. On the whole, progressive enlargement occurs, which is also due to the deposition of fat. Then, during pregnancy, the mammary glands enlarge to a large extent, and it is accompanied by marked changes in structure. And during the first half of pregnancy, the duct system develops further with appearance of many new alveoli, and no milk is secretion. On that note, I will be telling you that no milk is secreted by the gland till now. During the second half of pregnancy, there is enormous growth of glandular tissue and the development is completed for the production of milk just before the end of gestational period. Next, I will be discuss about the role of hormones in mammary glands, beginning with the estrogen. It helps to grow of ductile system, and estrogen causes growth and branching of duct system. So the normal development of duct system in breast at puberty depends upon the estrogen, and estrogen is also responsible for the accumulation of fat in the breast. Next is the progesterone, which help to grow the glandular tissue in the breast. The development of stroma of the mammary glands and depends upon the progesterone activity, and the progesterone also stimulate the development of the glandular tissue. The next is the prolactin. Prolactin is a necessary hormone for milk secretion, and however it is also plays an important role in the growth of mammary glands during pregnancy. So normally prolactin is inhibited by prolactin inhibiting hormone which is secreted from the hypothalamus, and prolactin secretion start increasing in the 5th month of pregnancy. At that time, it acts directly on the mammary glands and causes the proliferation of epithelial cells of alveoli. The next is the placental hormone. Estrogen and progesterone secreted from placenta are essential for further development of mammary glands during pregnancy or gestation period. Both the hormones stimulate the proliferation of duct and glandular cell during pregnancy. And the next is the other hormones. There are some other hormones which involves in the development of mammary glands. So these are growth hormone, thyroxine and cortisol, which enhances the overall growth and the development of mammary glands in all the stages of pregnancy. Relaxin also facilitates the development of mammary gland, and it is secreted by corpus luteum, mammary glands and placenta, and its major function is to facilitate dilation of cervix during labor. The next topic is the lactation. So what is lactation? Lactation means the synthesis, the secretion and the ejection of milk from mammary glands. That involves two processes, which are milk secretion and milk ejection. So beginning with the milk secretion first. Milk secretion occurs into two phases, that is the initiation of milk secretion, which called lactogenesis, and the maintenance of milk secretion, which called galactopoiesis. So beginning with the lactogenesis first. Lactogenesis is a process of initiation of milk secretion. Although the small amount of milk secretion occurs at the latter month of pregnancy, but the free flow of milk occurs only after the delivery of the child. The milk which is initially secreted just after the parturition, that is called colostrum. And colostrum is lemon yellow in color, and it is rich in protein, particularly globulins protein and other salts, but its sugar content is low. It contains almost all the components of milk except fat. Okay. The next is the role of hormone in lactogenesis. Prolactin is responsible for the process of lactogenesis. During pregnancy, particularly in the latter months, that means the last trimester or the third trimester, the large quantity of prolactin is secreted. But the activity of this hormone is suppressed by estrogen and progesterone, that is secreted from placenta. Because of these, lactation is prevented during pregnancy. And immediately after the delivery of the baby and the expulsion of placenta, there is sudden loss of estrogen and progesterone, and now the prolactin is free to exert its action on breast and to promote, and it promotes lactogenesis. The next is galactopoiesis, which is a process to maintenance of milk secretion. Galactopoiesis depends upon the hormone like growth hormone, thyroxine and cortisol, which are very essential for continuous supply of glucose, amino acid and fatty acid and calcium and other substances which are necessary for milk production. The next is the role of hypothalamus in galactopoiesis. Galactopoiesis occurs till 7 to 9th months after delivery of child, provided feeding the baby with mother's milk is continued till then. In fact, the milk production is continued only if the feeding of baby is continued. So the suckling of nipple by the baby is responsible for continuous milk production. And when the baby suckles, the impulses from touch receptor around the nipple, they stimulate the hypothalamus. They stimulate by hypothalamus, and it is suggested that hypothalamus releases some prolactin releasing factor which causes the prolactin secretion from anterior pituitary. And prolactin acts on glandular tissue and maintains the functional activity of the breast for subsequent nursing. Okay. Next is the milk ejection. Milk ejection is a process by which discharge of milk from mammary glands takes place, and it depends upon the suckling reflux. It depends upon the suckling exerted by the baby and the contractile mechanism in breast which expels milk from alveoli into the ducts, and milk ejection is a reflex phenomenon, and that is called the milk ejection reflux or the milk let down reflux, and it is also a neuroendocrine reflux. It is a diagram of lactation and role of hormone in it. Lactation that involve two processes, which is the milk secretion and the milk ejection. And milk secretion involves two processes, that is lactogenesis, which is the initiation of milk secretion, and the other is galactopoiesis, which is the maintenance, which is the process to maintain the milk secretion. And the milk ejection reflux, which is influenced by oxytocin. And the lactogenesis, which influenced by the hormone prolactin, which secretes on the latter month of the pregnancy. And the galactopoiesis, that is influenced by prolactin, growth hormone, thyroxine and cortisol. So this is all about the process of lactation and role of hormone in lactation. Okay. Next, I will be discuss about the effects of lactation on menstrual cycle. We know that during lactation period there is no menstruation. So women who nurses her child regularly doesn't have menstrual cycle for about 24 to 30 weeks after the delivery of the baby. It is because regular nursing of baby stimulates prolactin secretion continuously, and prolactin inhibits the GnRH secretion. That means it inhibits the secretion of gonadotropin releasing hormone, and resulting in the suppression of gonadotropin secretion. And in the absence of gonadotropin, the ovaries become inactive and ovulation doesn't occur. So when the frequency of there is a absence of menstruation during the lactational period, and when the frequency of nursing the baby decreases after about the 24 weeks after delivery, the secretion of GnRH and gonadotropin starts slowly, and then the sufficient quantity of gonadotropins is secreted, then the menstrual cycle starts again. The next topic is breast milk, which is secreted from the maternal body, or rather say the mammary glands of maternal body. So breast milk or human milk, it forms the primary sources of nutrition for infants or the newborn, and it contains about 88.5% of water and 11.5% solid, which are rich source of lactose, lactalbumin and iron and vitamin A and D, and also minerals. So that's why breast milk is not only best, it is a must for the newborn, because the breast milk have a lots of advantages, and that's are the breast milk is always considered superior to animal milk, or that means the cow or goat's milk, because it consists of sufficient amount of all the substances necessary for the growth of infants, that are iron, vitamins and minerals. And besides the nourishment of the infant, the breast milk also provide the several antibodies which help the infant resist the infection by the lethal bacteria, and even some neutrophils and macrophages are secreted in milk. This phagocytic cell protect the infant by the destroying microbes in the infant's body, and so that's why breast milk is must for newborn. Okay, so this was all about the mammary glands and lactation, which I have already told you. So thank you for watch the video till the end. Hope you guys enjoyed learning. And if you like this video lecture, so please like, share and subscribe my channel. Okay, thank you. Good luck.